So we've done over $15 million in revenue for trading communities on WAP just in the last 2.5 years. As you can see right here, for some reason right now, I have $453,000 in my WAP balance. I'm just sitting there waiting to withdraw. That's clients' money, obviously. It says we've earned 6.3 million, but I'll tell you on the next screen, it's actually way more. We've done, again, like I said, over 15 million. These are all the gross revenue or MRR screenshots that I could put on here. I could only fit 12, but some of the clients that we've worked with, you might recognize. I threw some in that you might recognize. I threw some in that you, some newer ones, some cool cases so that you know, like, this works for most people. This works for damn near everyone. So we worked with Dodgy. You might know him, trades IFVGs. We took him from 43K per month to 103K per month in 90 days. He's actually doing way more now. Like the amount he's doing right now, can't even say, but it's ridiculous. Trade with Brittany. We took her from 7K per month to last month she did over 120K per month. She's on pace for 144 this month, and it's only been 12 months. Literally started with us at near 0 followers. Funniest thing, she actually got in on a really good deal with us on our program with a financing company, and she got easily 100x ROI because she's paying like a few hundred a month or something. And last month, she literally did 120K per month, like damn near 95% profit margin because it's info. And she's on pace for even more. And this wasn't like a launch or something. Her gross revenue has genuinely been climbing, and it's continuing to climb very, very interestingly, and which is awesome. So she's going to continue to do well. Jack Trades, we took from 2K per month to 42K per month in 90 days, took it from 2K followers to over 100K followers. A deal, we started from literally 0 posts, 0 revenue. With him, he hit 20K per month MRR, over 100K followers now, and he's doing way more as well in high ticket indicator sales. I just don't mention the MRR behind them because there is no MRR, so it depends on the month how much he does. Creative Trader, he started with us in December. He had 0 posts, 0 followers, like brand new Instagram account, like genuinely brand new. He hadn't made a post at all, no stories, and he got 19K followers as of right now. And again, he started with us in December, it's April. He actually hit 10K followers in 30 days following our content framework. He studied a lot of our clients as well, showed up to all the group calls. So yeah, he started to do well. And since December, he's done over $60,000 in revenue. And again, he started from literally 0 posts and followers, which is insane to me, how quickly people can grow when they actually do the content correctly. And so he's been averaging like 20K per month, and he's going to continue to scale as well. All right. Colin Jones, can't say how much he makes, but we took him from 4 to 5K followers, and we took him to, now he's at over 100K followers, and he hit 100K in about 180 days. These are live results for some of our clients. Obviously, I can't mention every single one of them as I only have so much time, and we've worked with literally hundreds of trading communities. Even some of the bigger ones I do want to mention, some of the top 5, top 10 on WAP ones, I can't mention under NDA, or they just asked us not to. Right. But if you want to see some more of our clients, this is actually stolen from our book a call page. So you can see like we've generated over 50 million, worked to over 200 clients. Some of our notable clients are on our book a call page. That's going to be in the description of the first link in the description, which is a video explaining our guarantee, which is basically we guarantee between 10K MRR added to 100K MRR added based on where your business is. If you don't hit that within 12 months, we refund you all your money and send you 1K extra to say sorry from our personal bank account so you profit no matter what. All right, if you're interested in that and interested in seeing some more of our clients, go click that first link in the description. After watching this video, watch that video, and then look into the description of that to book a call with us if you are interested in working with us to scale your trading community. Because every single one of our clients basically get the same system because it's worked so many times and it continues to work. Just, I'm going to be showing you in this video, we've added some new tactics and we're implementing a lot more YouTube, for example, into the last 3 quarters of 2026. So that's what I'm going to share with y'all, and that's how we're going to do another 15 million for our clients just this year alone, which is going to be doubling our client revenue in 1 year that we've done in 2.5, right? But it's personalized based on their targeted audience, their specific niche, their positioning, etc. And we do run low tickets, we run high tickets, and we run cross-sells like indicators for our guys. But there's a certain system and there's certain KPIs in our clients' businesses at which we launch them. And the way we market them is based on what we've seen work with hundreds of the top trading communities that we've worked with, right? So right now, why does this system work? Why do you need the system? Like, why is it scaling people to such high numbers when either you're stuck or someone you know is stuck? Even if you're like a growth operator, you know, fuck, stealing our system, what a cunt. But regardless, like, if you were, this is how you scale your clients. Trust is at an all-time low. Like, I'll tell you, if you're doing this back in like 2014, you'd have an easier time, right? But unfortunately, it's 2026, and in 2024, the FTC reported 12.5 billion in total reported fraud losses in the U.S. alone. So, I mean, honestly, imagine what that is, including like India and other high GDP countries. Insane. But most of them were investment scams. Nearly half of all reported fraud losses came from investment-related scams. So I bet you can guess what happens when you like show up on Instagram and they just see like you're talking about trading and they see MetaTrader screenshots and you're like flexing Lambo, Rolex, whatever it is. Like they just think you're a scammer, bro. Because the reality is, in this modern day and age, especially in the info space, your prospect has been burned, right? Or if not, they know someone who has, or if not, they've heard one of the millions of stories of people who have, or even watched YouTube trading space with the man trading and exposing scammers, all that shit, right? So it's really, really hard now to just run an ad or just even run organic traffic like Reels to just a straight low ticket checkout or even high ticket book a call right there anymore. That era is basically over, right? Right now, you have to earn trust before you ask for money, and I'm going to talk to you about that on the next slide, how we systemize that and how we plug it into our own system. And this is a concept you can absolutely steal. This is a huge part of our playbook. But the trading space has honestly been saturated since like 2004. If you're a live trader, which most of our clients are, that's been saturated since like 2014, right? So right now the trust barrier is higher than ever, but the industry is bigger than ever. So a lot more money to make, just a bit harder to make the money. So it's really hard right now to just start a community, talk in your Discord, and expect people to flood in. If you're posting low quality content, you're posting those brain rot reels where you're just having like captions over Lambos, whatever, like it's not gonna work. You have to be incredibly different right now to break through, all right? And the mistake that most of y'all are making that would keep you stuck if you're under like, I'd say like 20K a month, something like that, you're probably trying to scale with either more traffic, most likely more shit traffic, when your entire system doesn't convert. And that says backend, it's not just the backend, right? There are three parts of it. There's traffic, conversions, and LTV. If you have shit traffic, it's gonna be damn hard to make the rest of your backend convert. If you have good traffic but a shit backend, then you're just pouring premium gas into a fucking leaky filler neck, right? Or, yeah, another analogy, there's inflatable pools, like the ones, if your parents couldn't afford like an in-ground pool, they went to Walmart, paid like $200 for one of those big-ass inflatables, the big-ass balloon pool. Just imagine like a massive knife in that. That's basically what it is if you're running high-quality traffic to a shit funnel, or even a shit traffic to a shit funnel, right? You're just basically wasting traffic. But more low-quality traffic into a broken funnel doesn't fix anything. Yeah, you'll make more money because you're scaling the traffic and you're doing more work, but you're not actually going to be able to scale because not only one, is it not sustainable unless you have a systemized way to do a ton of content. You want to make your time doing content as leveraged as possible, so you want your content to be as best as possible so it gets the right kind of leads and it gets the most amount of leads, right? But especially for paid ads, if you're just sending traffic to a broken funnel and you're at negative ROAS, you're just literally lighting money on fire, all right? So before you try to scale traffic, just fix what traffic's flowing into, make sure your traffic quality can stay high because that's half the game. And on that note, sending organic traffic or really cold traffic in general straight to like a WAP checkout link, or even if you just run high ticket straight to a book a call, is like asking someone to marry you the first time you meet them at a bar. So say you're in a bar, walk up to this blonde in a Daisy Duke or something. I got distracted. But if you ask them to marry you when you don't know their name, they don't know yours, they don't know, probably if you're into women, they don't know how much money you make, then you're probably gonna have an issue. You're probably gonna have the cops called or get pepper sprayed, or I don't know, she's gonna order an angel shot. You're gonna get beat up, whatever it is. No, nobody really says yes. I mean, maybe if you're in Vegas, certain cities, whatever. But generally, they're gonna say no and just kind of think you're weird. Like, that guy's kind of has some issues, right? But you'll hear that and you'll be like, oh yeah, like I would never do that. But you're doing that to most of your leads, right? It's very, very hard to cold close high ticket, and even if it's like sending them straight to a low ticket checkout, the ad of running an ad directly to a sales page and collecting money instantly is basically over, right? Especially in trading. Trust has to be built first, and in the rest of this video, I'm gonna show you actually how you build that trust. So a big part of it actually is Google's 7-11-4 rule. And if you've been on my channel before, you've heard me talk about this countless amounts of times, but this is a study Google did back in the early 2000s, early 2010s, whatever it was. If you want to look it up, it's called Zero Moment of Truth study. So that's part of it. But they studied billions of data points across hundreds of thousands of internet businesses online, and they found on average, in order to turn a cold lead into a paying customer, so someone seeing you probably back then for the first time on like Google, but now in the modern day and age for the first time on Instagram or YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Twitter, whatever it is, on average to turn them into a paying customer, they need to engage with 7 hours of your content, in 11 different touch points in 4 different locations. My mind blanked, sorry. But what that means is they need to see a lot of you, they need to see you many times, and they need to see you in a lot of places, multiple different locations, right? You need to be omnipresent. So this is why YouTube is such a big part of our funnel, because if you're thinking about 7 hours of content, like, could you imagine doing that? Like, for example, if you're only doing Reels, there's no fucking chance you're hitting this. Because if you, let's say each of your Reels are 1 minute, and somehow this person, imaginary person watching it, watches 100% of your reel every single time they scroll upon it, they still need to watch 420 reels. You might not get that done in a year if you're doing one a day, right? If you're doing one a day. So even if you're doing YouTube, if you are not figuring out a system to send the cold leads you're getting from Instagram, from ads, whatever it is, to your YouTube content, you're missing out on a ton of conversions, right? And if you're not doing YouTube content at all, absolutely hop on that. That's what we're plugging in now. We're like optimizing a lot of our done-for-you clients' YouTube because it's absolutely OP, especially once you get into the stage where your product suite is really, really important. 11 different touch points. This is super simple. So this could be emails, it could be more reels, it could be more YouTube videos, and 4 locations, obviously different platforms, right? So let's say email, Discord, Instagram, YouTube, bang. But this is what it takes to convert a cold lead into a paying customer on average. And I will say this matters more in trading, in the trading space, than almost really anywhere else in the info space, because you're literally asking people basically to trust you with their finances, with their trading account, right? So every lever in this system is designed to accelerate this process. And the only 3 things that matter in info, really any business in general, is the amount of traffic you can get, your ability to convert that traffic, and how much that traffic is actually worth to you, or each unit of that traffic is worth to you over time. All right, so traffic is basically this is literally just the amount of leads you can get and the quality. This is what most people miss, the quality of leads you can pull into, right? You could get 1,000 leads, but if they're all 18-year-old college kids and you're selling a 10K program, it's not gonna work. They don't have 10 grand, except for a very, very select few, right? Really, the way you do traffic, and we'll talk about this later, how to actually increase the quality and how to actually increase the amount. But on a very, very basic note, like Hormozi has 4 traffic sources, and if you think about it, these are the only 4 traffic sources you get for your business. You got warm outreach, you got cold outreach, you got organic content, and you have paid ads, right? For trading communities, only organic and paid ads work for them really, because warm cold outreach don't work. Like, I'm sure if you own a trading Discord, you've seen some of these Discord bots that join, and it's like an absolute scam. They come and they paste the link to another Discord in like every single one of your channels, and you got to instantly right click them, hit ban, and then you hit like delete previous 7 days messages, and you're like, fucking hell, does that even work? Likely not. They don't do very well, and it's not very sustainable, right? But if you're DMing people, it signals your time isn't worth much. Like if you're doing it from Instagram, for example, really you want people coming to you, all right? And now talking about the ability to actually convert those leads. So this is exactly where the 7-11-4 rule, like we just talked about, plugs in. And the authority ascension funnel, which if you've been on this channel before, is what we call our funnel. This is specifically designed to accelerate the 7-11-4 rule process, so that you get a lower sales cycle, and also once you get them through, they become more valuable to you generally, because if they trust you and genuinely see you as an authority, they're willing to spend more money and they're more sold on your unique mechanism. And your lifetime value, this is gonna be more of making sure, 1, people don't churn So it's going to be in your onboarding sequence, the way you onboard people in the Discord, your churn win back sequences, and even stuff like, obviously, you want backend cache. So it's going to be stuff like your product suite, your high ticket, your mid ticket, your indicator cross sell, your course cross sell, softwares if you can do it, affiliates if you can do it, right? So I will say, quick tip, like buyers keep buying. So if they purchase your low ticket and they had a good experience with it, they're more likely to cross sell to your other stuff, especially when their last experience was positive. All right. And so this system is very, very simple. Basically has 5 levers, and every single 100,000 per month trading Discord that we have built pretty much has all 5 dialed. And the levers themselves aren't really the secret. Most people start at traffic when they don't know whether their system is actually good or not because they don't track KPIs. They don't know what KPIs are even good, and they don't optimize it. And then they wonder why nothing converts, right? Like, if you people traders say this all the time, like they treat their trading like a business, but then they treat their business like they have no fucking idea what they're doing. So if you're doing this, like, genuinely, just watch the rest of this video, go watch the other video. You'll learn a lot. Even if you don't end up working with us or can't afford to work with us, then you'll still be able to make very, very noticeable increases to your business's revenue and improvements to your business in general. They all use the same system, every single one of our clients. Very, very simple. The 5 levers are basically going to be, one, the unique mechanism that we plug in for our clients. So this is what they brand themselves around. So for example, Dodgy was the first client I mentioned or something. He trades the IFG model, and he's built a huge brand around that, and that's what's allowed him to scale so quickly, right? And the reason why he was able to do 100K per month, even with like 40K Instagram followers, was because not only did he have a solid YouTube, but he was making educational content, and this was attracting tons of the perfect lead that we tied, and he tied stuff into his unique mechanism so well that conversions were super high for him. His free trial conversion rate was really high, and luckily he had he's a white kid from New York, so he was getting pretty damn good demographic. But other levers, most trading community owners tend to misuse a free community. They don't understand it's basically a landing page and a specific way you can nurture people. So inside of our Discords, and we have a video on this, we'll speak about this later, but we plug in what's called an FDNS, what we call an FDNS, which is a free Discord nurture sequence. And this is the way we structure the server and the way we structure the content inside the server, basically designed to take them through the 7-Eleven 4 journey. And it is designed to FOMO them, convert free members into paid subscribers in general, and then eventually upsell them to high ticket, mid ticket, your cross sells, whatever it is that you end up launching. All right. And number 3, a lot of the backend stuff. So a lot of the emails, and the Discord is involved in this. The email, the Discord, the way you send people to YouTube, this is called all kind of involved. And YouTube, this is why I've been saying, like, we've been plugging in YouTube so much more, because YouTube basically will be, and you need to figure out ways to get all your traffic to your YouTube and the traffic from your YouTube back to your funnel. So it kind of becomes a web. That's why we call it the nurture web. But if you think about it, like, if you get 10 watch hours on a YouTube video, that's basically 10 hours of like a sales call you did. Like, if you did, and it's automatic, you didn't actually spend any time. That could literally have happened while you sleep, right? If you could imagine just like sleeping, waking up, and have taken 100 sales calls every day, you probably made some damn money in your sleep. So that's kind of what we set up for you, right? 4th lever is going to be the amount of backend cash that we can actually collect from your leads. So obviously this is going to be making sure people don't churn, but obviously also the product suite, cross, upsells, etc. And on average, you can probably make each of your leads worth like 5 to 10x more to your business. And then the last lever is going to be actually scaling traffic. And obviously, if you're doing organic, do as much organic as possible. In fact, organics literally in the rest of our system as well. If you hop on a call with us to get your guarantee, and you have a unique mechanism and you have organic content, a large library of good organic content, you're probably likely going to get a higher guarantee because it's more material to work with, and we can see that you put in effort already, right? So again, just a nice little bonus. But if you're running ads, then yeah, I wouldn't do it if you aren't tracking KPIs, first of all. If you aren't tracking KPIs and spending money on traffic, then genuinely, you have no idea what you're doing. But if you don't actually know whether your system is good and you're running paid traffic to it, you're probably just lighting some money on fire. and you could be getting higher ROAS, right? And I will say, if you literally just implement even 2 of these in the next 30 days, you will see a measurable jump in MRR. Like, for example, if you had to leave for some reason after watching me explain lever 1 and 2, if you plug those in after 30 days, you will see improvements in your business. And honestly, I expect a Trustpilot review. So, just Google Business Score Trustpilot, leave a review. I'm joking, but, obviously, I'm saying you genuinely will get value. But lever 1. So let's speak about how to actually set up your unique mechanism and how important this actually is and where you should put it, right? Because this is kind of the foundation that everything else inside of the funnel, inside of your business is actually going to be built on. So this is how you set it up. If you can't explain, first of all, if you can't explain what makes your trading approach different, or your trading strategy in basically 1 or 2 sentences, then really this is what you should put your time into first before you continue making content, before you continue building your brand, because this is going to multiply everything you do, probably 2, 3-fold, right? And I would name it, makes it way, way better. Like, what you generally don't want to say is you don't want to say oh, crypto trader, ICT trader in your bio, because there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of those. What you want is a specific methodology with a name, specifically something only you teach, and one concept that your entire content universe, your entire funnel orbits, right? So Dodgy, for example, and actually let's go through these hooks first. You'll notice Colin use these, you'll notice Jack use these, you'll notice Creative Trader use these, and it looks like if I had to use one entry model for the rest of my life, it'd be this. This trading strategy got me 50K in payouts. I'll explain it to you in 60 seconds. Or even I use this simple 3-step model to get funded 6 figures in 90 days or something, right? So this is what you really want to do. And what you want to do with your hooks is you want to just tie in your dream result to the unique name, basically, and that builds instant curiosity and authority. I have some other good client examples for this inside our Discord as well. So if you're interested in that, just leave a comment and I can send you the link. But how do you actually own it, right? So literally just name it. So take your trading approach, turn it into something proprietary that only you teach. And if they hear it, it's like, oh, that's new. You will have an advantage if, actually ignore this, because you will have an advantage if it's something well-known in a community like ICT. Just make sure, this is true to an extent, because you need to make sure it actually is unique in some sort of way. If you just basically take the 2022 model, then yeah, you're gonna get comments about it. But if there's a specific way you execute it, let's say, for example, you were trading IFGs, but there's a specific confluence that you need, maybe use SMT, or maybe you require SMT, or maybe use gamma levels, or footprint chart confirmation, or order flow, bookmap, whatever it is that, I don't know, makes it better in some sort of way. That's your unique mechanism, right? So people won't call you out about that. And this you should plug into literally everything. So your unique mechanism should run through your entire funnel, your content, your lead magnets, your landing pages, your emails, your YouTube videos, your free community, and even your paid offering. Because literally every single touch point reinforces the same system. If they're not congruent, especially the paid offering, if it's not about your unique mechanism, then they're gonna churn. That's not what they came there for, right? And again, remember, a low ticket sale is not the end of the funnel. You still have cross sales, you still have upsells, you need to get them into your high ticket. That's how you start making big money once you get to a big enough scale where you can actually hold a sales team. And again, you want to brand around the mechanism. So not just yourself, if you're just relying on your own personality, it becomes a little bit less predictable. And we've had to scale hundreds of people, some who are super, super charismatic, super great on camera, some who are not. We're still able to scale both of those types of people because we're able to brand around the mechanism, basically, and through educational content, which is what pretty much everyone blows up on. Even if they do have a great charismatic personality, it makes it way, way easier, and it makes conversions way, way higher. Right. And it says it increases enterprise value, which is technically true, but your business has no enterprise value because you're an info business and it's based on your personal brand. So there are ways to do it. And I have a mentor who sold his trading business, education business for 10 mil or something, but don't worry about it. So for example, Dodgy's unique mechanism, very, very obviously, if you look at, have you seen him ever? He's the IFVG guy, right? So he trades the IFVG strategy. Everything in his content, inside his Discord and his emails all come back to one single concept. So before, what you don't want is you don't want to be generic trading content, how to trade options, options trader, ICT trader, how to trade ICT, because generally, if you're going to build a brand like that, you're competing in an entirely different space. which is hard to compete in, which is personality. Because if you had the greatest one in the world, you'd be a comedian or an actor, right? But you're a trader because you're most likely some sort of numbers or autistic person. I'm joking, but you get the point, right? Like it's a different field to compete in, and it's going to be way easier if you have a unique mechanism that actually you can provide value with, and it's easy to sell that way. All right. So after, you want the unique mechanism to be the center of branding for everything you do. When people join Dodgy's free community, they're not just joining like another Discord. They're learning IFGs. They're joining the IFG Discord from the IFG guy, like the guy. Like that's the guy, right? Because the branding and the way we built the brand around the IFG model frames him basically as the person to go to for that specific model. You almost built a cult-like audience around it. And yes, there have been people that pop up and teach IFGs, some people who actually worked with us, and I didn't know that they were copying Dodgy. Trading Louis, for one. That guy's funny. But it was very, very interesting. But regardless, there are people that pop up, and you'll see in his Instagram bio, his bio is like, probably taught your mentor IFGs or something like that, right? As of recording this video, at least. But so how do you take a broader audience, like, I don't know, ICT traders, and how do you pull them into your unique mechanism? So the way Dodgy does this, and the way we help them do it really, really well, was using hooks they already understand. So like every single reel, every TikTok, every short, not every single one, but a lot of them, the ones that are specifically designed to take people from problem aware to solution aware, in the 5 levels of awareness, which I'll explain later, Eugene Schwartz. But it hooks like best ICT strategy with 90% win rate, but when you click, he's basically tying it into his own unique mechanism, his IPG strategy, to people who don't know about it yet, right? So he'll even do current events through his lens. So he'll take trending topics, like, for example, there was one time where Bitcoin absolutely dumped, and then it made a recovery maybe to like 60K or something, like 55, went back up to like 80, or I don't remember which dump it was, but he caught it with an IFG, and he can take those and hit a broader audience, people who care about that Bitcoin thing, and then tie it into his specific model. So every piece of content that he makes reinforces the same unique mechanism, right? And so basically what this is, and what I just talked about with the 5 levels of awareness, is he's shifting awareness from people in problem aware, taking them to solution aware. And this is how you kind of build that cult-like audience, because what he's done is he can pull problem aware people with his content who understand like IC concepts, or even just trading in general. Generally, you don't want to target people who just like don't even know what trading view is, because those people generally don't end up being buyers. But he'll convert them in solution aware people who know about his IVG model specifically, and the more they see it and the more they get sold on it, it becomes the only solution for them for the problems which his product solves, right? And that's the magic in taking people through the 5 levels of awareness in your content. Like, you need to make sure your messaging is actually doing that, because when he's doing that, he's not just marketing to people who already know him and already know IFGs, because that's generally a smaller audience and those people are kind of already sold. He's able to convert strangers, complete strangers, and a broader audience into believers, which is why I say it's like a cult. Like, he's basically going out and it's like, yes, IFG cult. And when you can do that, and when you can take people through the 5 levels of awareness that well, and you become their teacher and you become their authority in the space, they eventually become paying customers about probably 80% of the time, if they are financially qualified, right? But some more real examples of some HVCOs that our clients make. So Jack Trades has his PO3, his 10 a.m. 4-hour PO3. Colin Jones has had the Trinity model. It's now called a 3-step model. Creative Trader, even the guy who started in December, he has a confirmation model. That's his unique mechanism. Dodgy obviously has his IFG. This is wrong. Obviously, that's inverse fair value gap. But yeah, it's going to be one method that they basically brand themselves around, not one time frame, one entry point, but that specificity is what converts. And it doesn't have to be crazy. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the intro, but one of our clients basically just trades like a very simple options trading strategy. In fact, it's pretty damn just supply and demand. And he called it this specific system, and it's a strategy he basically branded and turned into his own. He does over 100K per month. Like, the mechanism doesn't even have to be like exotic or sound crazy or be like whatever it is. Like, it just has to be named and owned and a specific thing that only you teach. So one of my clients actually recently, he literally just named his model the R8 model, because guess what? It's buying him an R8, right? An Audi R8. So that's what he named it. Like, it can literally just be as simple as that. So something funny happens actually when you name your mechanism. You obviously just get, well, not obviously, it's actually very interesting, but you get higher conversions because you're able to brand yourself around this. And it becomes such a core sales messaging framework, like it becomes a unique thing that only you can teach. Like instead of teaching someone how to trade options or futures, whatever it is, I'm teaching someone the specific method that got me the dream result that they want in a very, very simple way that's repeatable across multiple students, which is obviously like you don't say it like that, but that's basically what the messaging ends up being. And that's where you're able to build a lot more trust because not only is it a system you can repeat, but it's also more unique than literally just saying, teach you how to trade options because that can mean anything. Everyone trades options. Most people are quite bad at it, in fact. So like before, for example, your CTAs might look like, join my free Discord, whatever it is. And after it should be something like this, right? Specific, proprietary, remembered. That's AI, but yeah, I wrote that. And obviously this isn't perfect, I just wrote it off the top of my head, but it's something like, steal my simple 80% plus win rate IPG model that's made hundreds profitable, whatever it is. But yeah, in some of our case studies, conversion rate, especially some of the bigger ones who like had an audience but didn't have a unique mechanism and didn't have a system in place, like their conversion rate literally doubled in 30 days after creating the mechanism and branding around it, and nothing changed. Like the trading didn't change, traffic barely changed. Well, no, it did change because we tied them into the unique mechanism. So when they got into the funnel, they were already higher intent, but like it was a very, very small change and it doubled conversion rate, doubled the business. Everything was always good, basically, but now people weren't just buying another signals group, they were buying into a specific proprietary system that only the person on their screen could teach. So who are you gonna pay except that person, right? And you don't have to make this mechanism like something crazy, by the way, like we talked about in the last slide, but you can just frame it as an exclusive version, as something traders already know. So one of my clients, Finesse, he just trades an engulfing order block candle. Like it's an order block that's basically an engulfing candle. He just calls it the enhanced order block because people already know what an order block is. Like, whoa, what's the better version, right? Very, very simple. So this is, going to be the recap of lever one, basically, which is your unique mechanism. Just make sure you can complete the sentence. So in my trading community, I teach etc. mechanism name, a specific approach to whatever it does that only I teach. So just make sure you can complete that sentence, because if you do, then it's going to be easier to follow the rest of the video. If not, then you can still watch the rest of the video. Just you're not going to have the exact ideas about how to set up the messaging in your head, all right? But lever two is going to be the actual way we set up the free community. And I'm not going to go too in depth into this. It's going to be pretty brief because I do have a full like hour, 30 minute or something like that, or 30 minutes to an hour video on setting up free communities and specifically Discords for our clients, how we set up 100,000 per month Discords for trading WAPs. But honestly, like the simple mistake is that most of you guys just treat it like just a chat room. You guys just have like free chats in there or whatever. Whereas when we set it up for clients, it's basically just a sales machine. Like it's a sales asset, right? It's like a VSL, but interactive, right? And the difference isn't just like how active it is, like how many members, but it's the way you structure it and the journey you actually take, the leads that get into it. It's a journey you take them through so that they get through the 7-11-4, they get brainwashed into your unique mechanism, and then they actually get a Godfather offer offered to them throughout that. And what a Godfather offer, actually, I'll explain it later, but a Godfather offer is basically just an offer that is so good you would feel stupid saying no, right? But a structured Discord that's actually designed to brainwash your audience into a unique mechanism obviously massively boosts conversions for both low and high ticket, and increases show rate, increases close rate for high ticket, according to our data. All right, so let's actually talk about the FDNS, right? So this is a free Discord nurture sequence that we just spoke about. This is basically the customer journey you want structured into your Discord, that you want every single of the leads that comes into your Discord to take. And again, this is all systemized in Discord, which is one of the easiest ways to actually reach your leads, because it's not really a spam filter. They get push notifications straight to their phone from your Discord server. It's easier to FOMO because you get to push live events. You get to start live trading every day. You get trade recaps in there. Like you can get so many messages through there that you just simply probably can't get their email without it basically being considered spam, right? And again, what you want to put in there is systemized belief-breaking content that actually builds trust in your mechanism over the 7 to 14 days after someone joins for the first time. And I will say most people convert in that window for a low ticket. All right. And we specifically set up the free education side and the trade recaps, etc., the free trial channel. There's a certain way we set it up. And if you're interested in looking at that, it's actually going to be in the description. There's going to be a link to the video of how we actually set up these Discords. So go take a watch. Go watch that video after you watch this video. All right. We specifically set them in a way to create a structured nurture experience inside the server, and it's completely engineered. It runs without you lifting a finger after you get it set up. All right. And on the back end, like obviously on the non-conversion side, there's going to be churn recovery. All right. So on the long-term member value side, like some members obviously stay quite a long time in some of our clients' Discords, and if they're paying that long, they likely deeply trust you as their mentor, and if you have those people, they're generally prime candidates for mid-ticket, high-ticket upsells once you actually do end up launching them. As long as you make sure your product is valuable, they had a good experience with them, and teach people how to get the most value from your product, they probably won't churn, and they'll eventually have a good enough experience, and they'll be financially qualified to upsell because they need more of your help, unless you solve their problem with the first product, which is unlikely because most people need more help. But on the back end as well, there's obviously going to be win-back sequences. So these are churn win-back sequences. So if someone cancels, they receive email sequences with stuff like not only reset expectations, but obviously you can offer win-back discounts through WAP, like 50% off the first month or 50% off 3 months, whatever we end up deciding is going to be best, to rehook them basically into the buying loop. And just a few, like every month or so, our clients combined recover like a few $1,000, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars per month from churn emails alone. So they do work, all right? And so let's talk about the Godfather offer we put inside the Discord as well. So this normally is a 7-day trial, free trial for most of our clients. And I do get this question a lot, so I'm going to answer them real quick before we actually talk about the Godfather offer. People are like, why 7 days? Why not shorter? Because you get issues with people delaying their trial to wait for trading days. So let's say you had a 3-day free trial and they saw your video on Friday, they joined your Discord, they were like, yeah, dude, this guy's awesome. Oh, but it's Friday. Like, I don't want 2 of my trial days to be on a Saturday and Sunday. That's dumb. So then they wait till Monday. Or they say they're going to wait till Monday, but they actually completely forget about it and move on, right? Why not longer? Because you obviously want the conversion ASAP. You don't want as much desire fatigue. And, collecting cash is good. So, yeah, 7 days tends to be the sweet spot because if it's shorter, like 7 days, any time during the week, they can claim it and they still get 5 trading days, right? Obviously, like if it's around Christmas, then it's a bit rougher. Right, like Q1, our client Discords do really, really well. Q3, they do really, really well. Around holiday season, around Christmas, they can do well. Some of them do. But around Christmas, trial conversions tend to drop off because not a lot of good trading going on, and not a lot of Christmas Eve, Christmas, where markets close early. Those tend to be an issue. But a Godfather offer, like I said earlier, an offer so good you'd feel stupid saying no, right? So the framing basically would be like you've already seen my content, you've already seen all this stuff, you watch so much of my content, you're trying to learn this, like you could try literally 7 days in the community completely for free, trade live with me for free, test out the strategy, see how I trade it. All we need is your contact details so we can send it over, and then they put a card on file and get something insanely valuable. 7 days of live trading with you. Ideally a profitable trader, right? And converting them becomes so much easier after that because not only are they getting value and you're building more trust and authority with them when they actually show up and they know how to use your product, but they're getting deeper into your unique mechanism and you already have their card on file. So it's just a matter of them not just being valuable enough to where they're like, I'm going to cancel this, right? And so there are 2 entry paths to it. Basically in our link in bio pages most of the time. Like people can take the 7-day trial immediately because it's strong enough to be a front-end HVCO, which we'll talk about in a bit, but basically it's something valuable enough you can get front-end. Or they can join the free Discord first, spend more time with the brand, consume more educational content, get more sold in the unique mechanism, go through more of the 7-Eleven 4, and then take the Godfather offer when they're actually ready, all right? And so in the full product suite, you can put this inside the Discord as well. So inside the Discord and emails, you can route members based on where they are, financial qualifications, if you collect that in your opt-ins, to mid-ticket, high-ticket, or even cross-sell products from your product suite or upsell them on thank you pages, etc. And a lot of the times, like we use a free trial as an entry point for most of our client businesses, but it's definitely not the ceiling, and we end up adding cross sales and stuff later once the audience is a bit bigger and there's enough trust, authority, organic content, and there's enough leads to actually support. Like if we're gonna run a high ticket, we don't like hiring a ton of salespeople, dropping them like every week or so, because not only does that cause a bad relationship with the salespeople because it's not a consistent opportunity, but it's hard to retrain them, hard to re-ramp them up, etc. So we generally launch them when you have enough leads for it to be sustainable and a closer can be full-time in your offer and make a living. Lever 2, all right, so these are the benchmarks you should look at for this, because this is part of the conversion, so this will be part of Lever 3 as well. But if you track these weekly, we actually track them every Thursday for every single one of our clients, and it tells us exactly if or where their funnel is broken, and we can go in, track, fix, optimize based on where it is in the funnel, basically patch bottlenecks, right? Which is why we actually call them finding the bottlenecks. But 10% of your leads should convert to a free trial if you're running one. If you're below this, you should fix either your traffic quality or your funnel. 20% of your free trial should end up paying minimum. Our average tends to be like 30% plus, but obviously it depends on the demographic. So I'd say like 20% minimum. If it's under that, you probably have some sort of issue. Your audience is either a poor demographic using cards with like little money. Like if you check your WAP and everyone's from India, yeah, you're gonna have pretty damn low free trial to paid, and you gotta take a look at that. But either that or your members aren't getting value from the server or don't know how to get the value from the server. So even if you have the most valuable thing in the world, if people don't know how to use it, they're still going to cancel because they're paying for something they don't get value from, even though it's super valuable, just because they don't know how to get the value, right? So make sure you're checking in on that and tracking those KPIs. Lever 3, very simple. This is going to be the content to lead system. So this is actually how you post content and take leads from the views you get on social media. And again, like content is the top of the machine, and it's not the machine itself, although it is integrated throughout the whole machine, the whole system. Then most trading creators, or if I call them trading creators, most likely it's because they treat content like it's a whole business. And honestly, if you're working with someone like us, or if you're working with us, then yeah, it should be the whole business for you, because we handle the whole backend, and we help you with the content. All you have to do is post content. You don't really care about followers, but as long as you're getting high quality leads, then you're good. But if you're not doing that, you're just kind of posting content, you're just trying to like get a ton of views by posting brain rot and trying to get as many followers and just kind of hope people click the link in your bio and buy, then you don't really have a system or like a content sales system. You're basically just getting as much traffic as possible and just hoping people somehow get interested enough. Like I've had clients who hop on with millions of impressions a month and they haven't done a single dollar. They haven't done a single dollar in revenue because the traffic quality is dog shit, right? So you need a system that actually turns every view into a lead, and you need a content system that actually makes sure the leads are high quality enough so that they can go into the system and everything throughout the system is congruent. Because if you're making content for vegans and you're selling steak, you're not getting any sales. It's kind of the same thing. If you're making videos towards complete beginners, people who barely don't even know what TradingView is, but you're teaching whatever it is, like even signals, even live trading, like it's still going to be rough, because it's easier to convert someone who actually has the problem your product solves rather than convince someone that they need to start trading and that you're the best person to learn from, right? Usually people with the problem can just see that from the get-go. So what actually is an HVCO? So you've probably heard it called a lead magnet. We call it an HVCO, which stands for high value content offer, all right? And so what this actually is a specific, and you want this completely branded to your unique mechanism, and it's a specific high value content, basically asset. Like it has to be valuable. It has to be so valuable. In fact, it feels like something you should charge for. Or at least it provides enough value that they feel like they could have paid for it, right? And they would have been happy. So, and what they do, all they do in exchange for it is either they give their name and email. If you're running high ticket, you can do high ticket HVCOs where you collect phone number and you get a setter to dial them, speed to lead within less than a minute. We have setters sitting there 24/7, dialing in under 30 seconds. But yeah, they get massive value, the viewer, and now they're actually lead because you have their contact information to get the HVCO. They join the Discord, they start getting the emails to your YouTube channel, they start seeing the FDNS, so they start going through your YouTube videos from the Discord. They're not just a viewer, right? And this is where it actually starts to become valuable and you actually start to make money. Basically, the HVCO, in very, very simple terms, is like the bridge between the content you post and your actual middle of funnel, like your funnel, right? And a lot of the times it ends up being the email list and the Discord and in even like YouTube recommendations. But without it, you can get a lot of views, but you won't get any leads, which will mean you're either missing out on so many conversions, it's ridiculous, or you're not making money at all. But with it, if you actually have this system in place, every piece of content, especially if it blows up, feeds an owned audience you can market to forever. And if it blows up, you do so, so well. One of our clients got like, I remember the first time this happened, it was unreal, like 2 years ago. One of our clients had like a 1 million view reel, got like 20,000 comments, and the amount of leads that were flowing in, the amount of free trials that were started was ridiculous, right? Gained like 30K MRR in a week. It was crazy. But so this is why one-page PDF beats video courses, and I'm going to show you some examples. But the reason why we do, like if you look at any of our clients, like Dodgy, like Colin, like really any of them, you could probably find a lot of them. Like if you find most trading guys, probably half of the people in the space, nah, I wouldn't say half, maybe like 10, 20% of the people in the space are probably working with us or something like that, like big people in the space. But you'll notice a lot of them have like very basic PDFs on their strategy, and it's basic, but it's insanely valuable, right? And so what this is, and the reason why we don't do like a massive video course is because one, the number one reason for me is because it's high value to time spent, all right? So a checklist, a cheat sheet, flow charts that they can see and put on their second monitor and use while they're trading instantly, that delivers value pretty much instantly in under 5 minutes, right? Video courses, they have to sit there, they have to go through all the friction and watch it for hours. And yes, that's good, but I would do it towards a warmer audience. For cold audiences, a PDF is fine, especially if it gets them hooked on unique mechanism. Maybe they take your checklist and they go back test it, and I'll give you examples after this. But the faster they get value, the faster they trust you, the faster they'll go look at your YouTube videos, the faster they'll go look at the content inside your Discord, stuff like that, right? And the second reason, supply and demand. Honestly, like not the trading strategy, but if you give away your full course as a free lead magnet, you're probably giving away quite a lot, and it's going to be harder to sell another course later, right? One-page PDFs tend to just give instant value and preserve your ability to sell deeper. If you're going to have a course upsell, don't give away a course as a lead magnet, because then they're not going to buy the course because they already watched one of your courses, right? And then if you can get them basically completely sold on your unique mechanism and get them to adopt the identity of a person who trades that unique mechanism, you've won. So this is something huge we do with all our PDFs, and that's why they're called like checklists or like point checklists or flow charts, like thought flow charts on which trades to take. Or like breakdowns. It's because it's a checklist on their second monitor, basically. Like if it's a PDF they can put on their second monitor that they reference while trading, and it turns them into an IFG trader or whatever unique mechanism it is, then the mechanism becomes part of their identity, and generally people don't abandon that. Like you've probably seen so many reels about that, about people like smoking cigarettes or whatever. Like it's not hard to quit if you just are not a person who smokes cigarettes, right? And obviously that's a bit simplified, but you get the point. Like people tend to stick to their identity if they have self-esteem around it. But now let's talk about the 5 levels of awareness, because the HVCOs are actually a huge part of taking people from problem aware to solution aware. And this is based on Eugene Schwartz's framework. You can just Google 5 levels of awareness. Like you don't have to. It is a rare multi-$1,000 book. Like I'd love to get my hands on a copy. You can just read it, but getting your hands on a paper copy is quite difficult. But interesting detail, I guess you didn't really need to know. But 80% of your content, like if you actually go look at this chart and pull it up on your phone or something if you're watching this on desktop, but 80% of your content and your HVCO should basically target problem-aware people, because this is going to be a majority of the people that you target. And the goal through the content and through the HVCO is to convert them to solution-aware, knowing about your strategy through your content, and you want to frame your unique mechanism as the answer to their problems, or as the answer to getting them to their dream result, right? So 5 levels of awareness. 1, at the top, it's going to be unaware. So doesn't know they have a problem. So really, this shouldn't be your audience. because they don't really have, like, if you can, TGR, like once you get to really big, then you can take people who aren't even trading, pull them into something with like a boot camp, and then teach them your mechanisms, and you become their teacher from the get-go. That's really, really difficult to compete in. One, this is still a huge industry and it's growing every day. So you can target problem-aware people, and these people are way easier to sell because they know they have a problem, doesn't know your solution exists, and this should be your primary target because it's the largest and the most valuable audience to hit, and it's not really that saturated, very interestingly. And you want to get them down to solutionware. And this is basically just, they know your mechanism exists, they're starting to consider it, your content converts them into here. And then your Godfather offer should get them in, and then they should become product aware inside your Discord, and then they're good to go, right? Solution aware, product aware, most aware. Really, you just have to worry about problem aware, solution aware, and very rarely, very, very rarely product aware. That would be like CTAs on your story, stuff like that, right? But the most valuable conversion in this entire system is going to be converting people from problem aware to solutionware, because everything else is easier after that because you get them inside of your email list, your Discord, they're watching YouTube, super, super easy. Send them emails, send them email automation, send them email blasts, do launches with them, make a ton of money, right? But how do you actually do this? So, like we said earlier, it's very simple. Make content for kind of a broader audience, people who have the problem that you can solve but don't specifically know about your mechanisms or even some of the vocabulary around your mechanism. But you should use a language that specifically hooks the people who will have the problem using words they already understand, then lead them to a lead magnet that teaches your specific mechanism. And this can be broader. Like, this shouldn't be like, oh, why you keep getting, let's see, why your fair value gap why price isn't reacting off the fair value gap you marked. Like, that's a little too specific. You can go broad, like those hook examples I gave you earlier. If you're looking for more hook examples, go to that content video inside the description, watch that video after this. So once you have this, you have the full system, then you go learn how to do the content, and then you're good to start going, right? But use language like that and then lead them to a lead magnet that gets them hooked and teaches your specific unique mechanism. And that's how you turn strangers into believers, kind of like we did with Dodgy, right? So you can make so many videos and so many angles and still CTA to the same lead magnet, because your lead magnet, especially if it breaks down your strategy, there's so many ways to angle it towards a broad audience, tie it into the unique mechanism, and still build demand for the lead magnet, even though it's the same lead magnet, right? So you can just create a few powerful lead magnets and then build your content around the micro problems that that lead magnet solves. So for example, I'm not going to take even one of our client examples. You can post 100 videos on something like prop firm consistency with completely different angles, right? So it could be like why most traders fail prop challenges, the one rule that keeps you in drawdown, how to pass without changing your strategy. There's so many angles, and like most of these aren't even good ideas. These are just what I came up with off the top of my head. But you get the point. There's so many angles, and you can CTA to the same lead magnet. If your lead magnet is like, in this case, like a prop firm risk tool or something, whatever it is, right? And this creates a perception like it's not going to get repetitive. Just if you make that many videos about it, they follow you because they appreciate the messaging, right? It just creates a perception that these guys are the experts in this and they have the system for this because they can attack this from so many angles, basically, right? So inside the reel, if you want the highest conversions to your HVCO, you actually need to build demand towards it, right? So while you're teaching inside of these videos, you can strategically reference, like, for example, rule 3 from NFP playbook, or like step 5 of the checklist. You can show small visuals of the PDF or Notion page when you mention it. And honestly, this could be a little bit more towards solutionware people, where you basically can make a video around your lead magnet and like using it, especially if it's like a checklist or a flow chart, and like use it as an example. Those I've seen do really, really well, and it builds a lot of demand for the lead magnet, right? But yeah, it would be like, if you want to do that, I would reference your framework, and at the end, especially if it's something like, I had a call with a client recently who has a relatively subjective strategy, because what he does is he just marks out draws and then literally just waits for displacement towards those draws. So it's subjective because what defines displacement, right? And he requires a lot of screen time for it, but he can create lead magnets around that. And since he can't explain that in a video, he can basically build demand for that by giving more details inside the lead magnet that he can't give inside the video and mentioning that in the CTA, right? So the CTA would just be like, comment checklist to get this checklist or whatever it is. Like, yeah, if you want my free IFG point checklist where I explain how to find A+ setups, which setups are B-, just comment checklist and I'll DM it to you for free. Something like that, right? And so how they normally get to the lead magnet is just going to be ManyChat automations on your reels or your stories if you're doing story CTAs to a lead magnet. And it's very, very simple. They'll comment a keyword, they'll receive lead magnet in DMs automatically. And this works actually because it boosts post engagement because Instagram Reel will get more comments, which pushes that to more people. And Instagram doesn't like external links in the caption. So they'll, at least they didn't used to. I'm not sure if they still throttle your video from that, but I wouldn't risk it, especially since I believe they do. And the DM actually feels a little bit personal, even though it doesn't look like a normal DM. You can set it up to make it look kind of close to a normal DM, but at the end of the day, if it has a link, it still has to be a button. But regardless, it's a bit better to be in their Discord DMs, or their Instagram DMs rather, boost conversions a little bit. And more likely, or people are more likely to use it when it actually arrives in their DMs, right? Because they'll probably see it more than once as well, rather than just seeing your page once. I bet that's happened. Like you'll click an ad and you'll be like, I'm interested in this. And then you click off and you scroll and you're like, wait, what was that company again? Shit, my For You page reset. I'm never gonna see them again. It's a little bit better to be in DMs because it's easily findable, right? So some HVCO examples from some of our clients. No Code Algo Trading Starter Kit. One of these, viral trading, that's actually us. We do this. So if you want that, the link will actually be in that content video. So you can go watch that video after this and then steal the viral trading content checklist. So, become a lead. But PO3 entry checklist, IFEG setup rating guide. Yeah, that's a good one as well. I forgot to mention rating guides and the forever model decision flow chart. So like whether to take the entry based on these certain confluences, whether to exit based on this, etc. Very, very simple flowchart. These are all things people can put on their second monitor and trade with it. And so you want to actually test to make sure your HVCO is worth putting out there in the first place. And it's very, very simple. Just ask yourself, like, would you pay for this if you were your ideal audience? Like, imagine you are one of the people in your audience. Would you pay for this? If yes, then it's good enough to give away for free. If no, then honestly, it's probably not good enough to trade for an email if you actually want to build trust with a viewer. Obviously, it's free, so you can give away whatever you want. But if you actually want to build trust and get the highest amount of conversions possible, it's best to have something high quality because the first impression of someone's product is going to be that first impression, right? Like if it's shit, then people are going to think the rest of your stuff is shit. And again, your HVCO should be branded around your unique mechanism. If it's not, then you're missing out on conversions because it's proof of concept, basically. Like people, you want them to implement it and you want that identity adaptation we talked about. You want them to put it on their second monitor, have it on their phone, reference it multiple times, see your branding a ton, get sold in your unique mechanism, and then eventually become part of that cult-like audience, right? The thought you kind of want in their head after they download it, like you want it to be good enough that they're like, if the free stuff, like if this is what I'm getting for free, like I wonder what I get in the paid community. Like it must be insane, right? Cool. So the reason why HVCOs are so important and why I recommend doing them before you start posting a ton of content. I mean, obviously post content as much as possible, but find the time to make an HVCO and set up a system behind it. Because what happens when, for example, you can see what's on the screen. I assume you're fucking reading it. If you're not, if you're at the gym, then that's pretty cool, just listening to this, but I'll read it out to you. Like, I'll inverse this. Like, what happens if a reel blows up for you and you don't have an HVCO? So, for example, this reel, this is actually one of our clients. This happened. One viral reel that one of our clients posted got 3.4K comments, got 3,000 emails collected from that single reel alone, and it literally took 1 hour of recording and editing and posting. So it generated thousands of leads in literally an hour, right? So imagine if you didn't have an HVCO attached to that video. It'd go so well. But you know how much 3,000 emails is worth, especially if they're high quality? Like if this is educational video, you just missed out on tens of thousands of dollars, like literally, especially if you have the full system in place. So make sure you are CTAing to lead magnets, all right? Because one hit piece of content and if you have a strong HVCO behind that, could literally be, if you have a high ticket, months of a sales pipeline, as long as you have DM setters and you're financially qualifying and all that, and you have a certain amount of calendar spots, whatever it is. Or if you literally just run low ticket, I mean, even if you run high ticket as well, eventually you will get tens of thousands of dollars generated from basically on your end, if you're the content creator, 1 hour of work, right? Which is a good deal. I'd say getting paid tens of thousands an hour is a pretty good salary. But so here's the math behind that. So on average, 8 to 10% of the emails for our clients convert to a free trial. Around 25 to 30% of free trials convert to a paid membership at an average of $100 a month, right? So let's say you collect 1,000 emails, being a little bit conservative, you get 10% email to trial conversion rate. 100 free trials, 25 paying members, that's 2,500 in monthly recurring revenue. And that's for one reel. Obviously, 1,000 emails is quite a lot. On average, your reel, if you start to do well, probably get like 100 comments, something like that. But obviously, it's all additive. It all adds up. And then especially if you add high ticket, you add indicator cross sells, you add mid ticket, whatever it is, like even with 1,000 emails collected a month, you can still do very, very, very well as long as a system is in place behind it to actually convert these people. You have a very, very strong offer, and the lead quality that you're getting is actually relatively high, all right? And again, this compounds. Literally every single reel you post with an HVCO CTA feeds the machine. They go join your community. There's more trust built. They go watch more of your YouTube content, which then pushes it, if they watch it for a long time, it pushes it to more YouTube people, especially if it's towards search terms, because YouTube thinks it's a good video. And then those people will end up making sure they're followed to you everywhere because they like your brand and they want to see more of you, which gets you more views. And if they're watching it for longer, Instagram pushes it to more people because they think it's a better video, and the cycle repeats, right? And so the benchmark for this, make sure you're like, I assume this is targeted towards relatively small trading communities or even trading creators who just aren't collecting emails or any sort of lead at the moment. Make sure you're collecting over 100 a month, ideally. If you're still under 100 a month, you probably don't have a system. So either the content's doing really shit, which in that case, go watch that content video I've been mentioning. It's linked in the description. Or it's happening, like the content's doing well, but the leads aren't being captured, which means you're missing out on thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, right? So the fix, step one, fix the HVCO or make sure it exists. Make it specific to your unique mechanism. Make sure it's actually valuable and branded to your unique mechanism. And step two, fix the content value. So, and quality. So you can actually just make sure you're posting minimum 1 a day. If you can, I would do more than that. You'll improve quicker, but you have to make sure your content quality is high. So honestly, like go spend the amount of time you're planning on spending recording or back testing your strategy. Go study some of our clients. Go study our content videos. If you're in any of our courses, go study that course because that is going to make each of your videos about 10 times more leveraged per hour, right? So level 4 out of 5, this is going to be the back end. So the email automations, the system like Discord, the flywheel VSL, the way we web people around in YouTube, etc. And this is going to be the 24 sales machine that runs whether you're trading or sleeping, whatever. Like you set it up once basically, and yes, you track the KPIs, you optimize it, you change it around a bit, but you basically set and forget, runs forever, right? And here's one number that will basically make this all make sense. Louis did a video, and you can watch that. It's one of our most popular videos. I think it's like the 4th most popular, 5th most popular. It's one where he's talking about the numbers behind it. So like skip past the videos that have me in it and then click that one with his face and the numbers. And he did the math and it was like $750 per email collected. And I will say this is low ticket only, so this is an ultra conservative goal. But let's say you have 100 emails, $750. Over 1,000 emails, you make $7,500, which ain't bad, right? And this is low ticket only. So if you can get $10 per email low ticket only, then that's pretty damn good. If you're under that, your funnel system needs work. If you're above this, but you're still at under, let's say, 100 leads, then obviously it's too low of a sample size. Like you're only getting high intent people, so you can't really scale that data or extrapolate it in any shape or form, right? But with high ticket and with cross sales and with everything else, that this shoots up. Like I said, could be 5x, could be 10x. Depending on the amount of leads you're getting, depending on how strong your offers are, depending on your ticket prices, depending on your churn rates, on like indicator stuff, etc. All right, but We normally just set up 3 very, very simple email automations. So what we have is a new lead sequence. So whenever new leads come in from HVCOs or whatever it is, it's basically like an onboarding onto the unique mechanism. So every new subscriber experiences this automatically, regardless of where they come from. There's also the free trial onboarding. So whenever they join the free trial, there's an onboarding that basically makes sure that they know how to get the value from your community. And then there's a 30-day nurture sequence we have. And this is basically after the new lead sequence and after some of the personalized stuff towards the HVCO messaging in particular. But after that, it's pretty much long-term. We start sending them a ton of YouTube videos. We also pitch them the Godfather offer, etc. But it's basically a nurture web. They can't escape the value. They get emails about it. They see Discord education stuff about it. Your YouTube, your Instagram reels are CTAing to it. If they'll probably start seeing you on YouTube if they've clicked your YouTube once or twice. And really, every channel that they see you on basically reinforces your teaching and your unique mechanism as long as you've kept everything congruent and builds up those 7 hours, 11 touch points in 4 different locations, that Google rule, right? And so all your channels end up cross-promoting in each other, so they kind of become a flywheel. So the reels lead to lead magnets collect emails and get people in the Discord, emails and your Discord to link people to YouTube. YouTube pushes back to more value in the Discord, into your other lead magnets. They're seeing you everywhere, right? And that's really the goal. So what is the last lever? And this is going to be scaling traffic. And really, in this section, most of the negative advice, like this is what happens if you don't do this, is going to be paid ads. But traffic is a multiplier, right? So it multiplies whatever conversions your backend's doing as long as the audience is still congruent with the offer. So if your backend converts at like 2%, which is pretty shit, more traffic just burns your budget faster, all right? So you want to build the system first, and then you can flood it with traffic. You don't want to let's say, I don't know, what's someone with a big website that people actually care about? Not really anyone, but like let's say Ferrari, they try not to release shit cars, right? Like you want the people to actually want the cars, and that's really conversion rate there. But why traffic is last? So obviously, the amount of traffic you get multiplied by the conversion rate equals the amount of results you get, right? So in scenario A, let's say you have a broken backend, you convert at quite a low amount, let's say to a trial or whatever. 1,000 leads could mean 20 members if you 10x your conversions, which is highly unlikely, by the way, but more realistically, like I have seen 2%, especially since people tend to not collect leads or just have a WAP checkout in their bio. You can easily 4 or 5x that, right, to like 10%. But regardless, that would still be a 5x increase from 20 members to 100, right? So now traffic is actually a lever you can pull and be like, okay, this is like especially for paid, like every dollar you put in would literally return 10 times more. So if you're at 2x ROAS before, 20x ROAS is ridiculous, right? But obviously more traffic doesn't fix your business problems if you actually have a broken backend. So if you've been doing this for quite a while, you've been posting a lot, but you're not really making a lot of money, then this is the reason why, right? You probably don't have a system on it. If you're doing organic only and you're doing well, getting a lot of views, getting high quality traffic, but you're not collecting leads and you don't have a system to even convert those leads or make a lot of money from those leads, then you're likely missing out on a ton of conversions by not having a real system in place to convert them and collect the most amount of cash, all right? So stage 1, like if you're between 5 to 10K a month, or really, this is really if you're under 10K a month, I would just grind organic with an HVCO. You don't even need like an insane Discord. You don't need a ton of stuff. Just start posting a lot, learn what works, but make sure you're actually collecting those leads, because even if you don't have something to sell instantly, launch can do really, really well one day, as long as you get people in your Discord and your email list, etc., right? So if I were you, I would post 3 short form pieces a day. I'd spend 4 hours a day sitting there, maybe 2 hours studying our clients, stealing some hooks, stealing some scripts, watching our courses, watching our YouTube videos, learning how we do hooks, rehooks, subhooks, how we do the visual engagement, how we re-attract attention through tone changes, stuff like that. Visual engagement is probably the most important there. Study that and then record 3 short forms, see how they do, make edits, double down on what works, right? Like, because if you actually do the studying and you're improving your quality as well as getting the reps in, you will improve very, very quickly. Even 1 a day is fine. Creative Trader, he has, we can go look. Well, I can't really on the screen, but He probably has like 100 posts right now. He's only posted 100 times. But because he studied our clients and because he watched our courses, he got really, really good at it very, very quickly. Also, he was a creative director before. That's why he's called a creative trader. So he did have a little bit of an advantage, but you get the point. I would cross-post everything, put this everywhere, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. I wouldn't post short form on Twitter or anything, but put it everywhere you can that does good short form. And I would start the YouTube long form. So I would do 1 video per week minimum. And this is where you start to fulfill the 7-hour part of the 7-Eleven 4. If you start YouTube long form, make sure it's tied into your unique mechanism. I don't have videos on this, but it is in our content course. So if you're a client, go watch that. It's inside of the content courses section where all 3 of our courses are. Long form in there, I teach you how to find topics. I teach you how to actually talk about the topic to convert people, etc. Right? Find outliers, how to find high quality titles, thumbnails, because the packaging is 90%. But at this stage, like if you're under 10K a month, you shouldn't have a paid budget. I don't think you'd cash flow very easily. And if you're like, I would run it to high ticket only. And at this point, you would have to be your own closer, which is fine if you have the time. A lot of guys don't though, right? And a limited audience. But the amount of volume you're doing and the distribution of it is everything. Like once you start getting an audience, then when you really, really dial in the other stuff as well, you can start doing really, really well. If you're still at 10K a month though, and you're doing well on organic, then you're a prime client to work with us. We can guarantee you a lot because then we don't have to scale the traffic. Like we just need to set up the system and it's instant. It's like you literally start making money so quickly. But if you don't have organic yet, it can take a little bit longer, but still, you still get the guarantee. We still have to do it within 12 months. So that's what we help you do. So if you are having issues with traffic, the framework we like to use for actually everything, but traffic you can use this for is you want to do more, better, or different, right? So if you have a problem, try doing more of it. In fact, traffic's a bit different, organic content's a bit different because, for example, if this was like anything else, doing more is probably the absolute first thing before you even touch better, because better tends up being different most of the time. But I would do more and better if possible, just because it's a skill, right? Like you can make it better every day by doing more. So you can kind of combine those, but just do more, make it better. And then truly, like if you've done both of those and you've done it for quite a long time, like 3-6 months, then you can try new formats, new angles, new platforms, because whatever it is, like, or look for help of some sort, right? Pretty simple framework, because 90% of the time the answer is either do more or do better. It's very, very easy. But I hate seeing people just like change their approach every damn week before they even learn how to do anything correctly, because it's like strategy hopping, right? Like you guys say this all the time. If you're strategy hopping all the time, you never actually learn how a model works, the psychology behind it. You never get screen time with it. You never become good at it, right? Same thing with any other skill. So you can learn how to do more, better, and more of it at the same time. To learn how to actually do the content style and the engagement hacks that we use to blow up some of our clients, then that's going to be the content video and the link in the description, all right? But if you're ready to install this into your business, or at least see how the program actually works, as well as see how we plug in the system, maybe steal some elements of the system to see if it works before you even book a call, then it's going to be that first video in the link in the description that's going to explain to you how the program works, the guarantee behind the program, why and how the system works, what the system actually looks like inside of your business, and then the book a call link is going to be in the description of that video. And the results are guaranteed, like I said. So we guarantee between 10,000 to 100,000 in monthly recurring revenue growth, or you don't pay. That's the deal. And if you're asking why that range is so wide, we've worked with some of the top 5, top 10 people on WAP. Some people are complete beginners, but even complete beginners, we can generally guarantee a minimum of 10K by the end of the 12 months, as long as they post content every day, right? So, and obviously we hold their hand through that. Like we're not a charity, haven't had to refund anyone yet. So keep up that streak. But if you want to see the results and some of the clients that the system has helped, just check out my highlight on IG. It's called Client Wins. My @ is IamAndyFam. And also we have a lot of case study videos on this YouTube channel, so you can check that out as well. But if you want to, just drop a comment below. Just talk about your current monthly recurring revenue, or even just your gross revenue if you're doing high ticket, and your biggest bottleneck. Because what it is that's going to be the easiest way, except for Instagram, to reach me, and we do read these. So I'll respond, answer any questions you have, and also maybe make a video about it. So if you're at 5K per month trying to break 20, 50 trying to crack 100, whatever it is, like we've probably been in that situation with one of our trading communities, if not countless of them, most likely, and have now systemized it to share with you all. So if you want any help, leave a comment below. Also, probably click one of these playlists depending on which issue you have, like whether it's the content, whether it's actually the funnel side, whatever you think it is, go watch that, and then it'll actually diagnose it for you inside there. But yep, go watch the rest of our videos on this YouTube channel, and speak soon.